I have a new ring light. It's been train fair season again, and you know what that means? Poor financial decisions. Now, I've talked about this before, and train fares in the Netherlands usually revolve around one type of railway, and it's never the NS for some reason. It's always Germany. Now, with vendors' fairs, you actually have a larger chance of bumping into something NS. Usually people that want to get rid of their old Roco and usually old Märklin stuff. And the chance of finding something British is very small. So usually when I go to a vendor's fair, I'm a bit disappointed. This was not that day. And you might wonder, but Scott, what did you pick up this time then? Well, I picked up a few items, and I'm gonna walk you through them. First of all, we have a Pullman car. Now, it was sold like this, it didn't have a box, but I don't know what the make of this is. I think it's a Hornby product, because, let's be fair, it usually is. It's not stated on the bottom anywhere. It's not behind the bogies either. How does it run? Is it... Ooh. That feels very good, actually. And I like that it's glossy. Because real Pullman cars, and even on pictures of, back in the days, you can see that they were very glossy. I like this. It has the full interior detail as well. Well, full, this is an older tooling. I believe this is what would later become the Hornby Railroad tooling. But, nothing's dropped off it, which is good. The underside detail is... It's passable if you're looking at, like this, which you usually would. I really like this. I think the colours pop more than on the railroad Pullman carriages. And it is very beautiful. They're all just very beautiful Pullman cars, aren't they? It's going to be a fingerprint magnet though, so I have to watch that. Then, it's time for Bachmann to throw their hat into the ring. Now, these actually came from the same stall, and it was loaded with 00 gauge stuff. From as far back as Lima, Triang, and then, actually a relatively modern Bachmann 3F, the tender engine, not the tank engine. It's just going to be your standard van and brake van, but, one can never have too many vans, and, ooh, it's got metal axles. What's the running like? Ooh, that's very good. I like that. I like that a lot. I really like that. It's a banana van, isn't it? Yeah, it says fruit. Huh? What? What does that read? Hang on. It's G back, and then is that water closet? That's a W. That's a C, isn't it? Okay. I have a toilet van. The Bog Van. This is Bog Van now. This is its name now. This is Bog Van. Now, it's actually funny, because prior to recording, I actually opened these up to see if they weren't broken or anything. But I couldn't get this one out, and I actually hadn't seen the text on the fruit van yet, so... Why was that so stuffed in? Okay. I'm using quite a bit of force here. I don't like it. Oh, okay. So what's the deal with this? Okay. Metal axles. Plastic wheels, but I can live with that. I really like these. It's gonna need a wash though, and so does this one, but yeah, actually I quite like these. It's a cute little train that, and then like nothing's dropped off. Like it doesn't have any missing buffers or anything. I'm just gonna add a lamp to this. Yeah. Yeah, I really like this. I think, yeah. Like, I didn't think anything would break off, of course, but, it's quite good, that. 18 for the both of them. That's quite good, I like that. Jesus, what a voice crack. Okay, we're going up in price now. It's now time for the big old favourites. Hornby. Now, what did Scott buy this time? They're upside down. No, shot's ruined. Right, so you might wonder, Scott, why did you buy BR Blue stock? I thought you said you didn't like BR Blue. Yes. On most diesel locos, and electrics for that matter, I don't like BR Blue. However, there is this period, which I would like to model, which is, you know, it's both the transitional era when the steam engines had already been disposed of, and now the diesels were in full sway, but as you might have noticed, this is a Mark II, so I could also use this to represent the Scottish push-pull era. Well, okay, granted, this isn't a DBSO, but I would like to run this in a, let's call it a West Highland setting for something like that, you know. Because, you know, I only have to add one of my red Mark Is, and it would make actually quite a train. So, hence why I bought this. Like I said, I've had these things out of the box already, so I know that from this nothing has dropped off. But I think, now the camera doesn't pick up on it as nicely, but it's far closer to teal in real life than it is to, you know, blue, and I really like that. And I think it just really adds to, you know, the, I guess, a bit dilapidated, you know, as it was back then. Where the trains were, you know, they weren't dirty, or, well, they weren't steam era dirty, but generally speaking, they weren't spick and span either. Ooh. Oh, that one's actually quite filthy, hang on. I took 00 Bill's example, and I bought a toothbrush set. And it's not just a toothbrush set, it also was that little hook tool you saw me using just then. There is a bit of paint bleed over here. Look, you can see where the paint is supposed to end. The grey paint, but it just bleeds in over into the blue. That's... Oh, that's a bit... I haven't seen that yet. Because on this end, they did do it right. As I thought, I can't get the dirt off as is, so I have a plan B. A few years ago, I purchased this. What this is, in effect, is just a bit of slime, you know, that kids these days like to play with. What it's meant for is to just press on your models, and it does take a lot of the dirt with it. Don't know how well you can see that, but it does genuinely take a lot of the dirt with it. Excellent for cleaning up, like, you know, gunk of the sides of locomotives with a lot of pipework, but you don't press too hard on those, of course, so you would, in the end, I suppose, do a bit of both, a bit of brushing carefully, and a bit of using this. You might mock me, but it's actually working. I really like the look of these. Like, with it on a rake, you know, they look really cool. Ah, the stupid ring light. They look really cool. Like, I really would just bought this so I can, you know, I've said before, I want to expand slowly into more modern stuff, and I think this is a really good way to do it. But I bought one more thing. Well, it's two things in the same box. I just said I wanted to do more modern stuff, yes? It's the Baked Beans Express! Yeah, I saw this and I just knew I wanted to have it, you know, because if I believe this train, it comes from Inverness and then it comes through Carlisle down south, and, you know, funny bean meme. Can I get this to go off without hitting the camera and the ring lights? Yeah, there we go. Now, like I said, I've had all of these things out, and as you can see, there's little holes for pegs, which you can then glue onto the underside of the container so that they stick into the flatbed, or, well, carrier, I guess it is. But, yeah, owing to this thing being second-hand, yeah, the glue gave way. On this one, it's not as bad, but on the other container, I'll show you in a bit, but all the pegs have let go. It astounds me how flat this is. Like, very close to the railhead, you know, the underside of the It's not even a bed, it's a frame. Oh, hang on, it's broken. Look. Can you see that? Yeah, you can, it's broken. Hadn't seen that yet. The coupling that's supposed to go between these two is this little bar thing. However, it's snapped. So, what we are going to do is take this off, and take the one off this end as well, and fit the... Jeez, the wheels are dirty. I hadn't noticed that. Let's see just how dirty they are, eh? Ooh. Okay. Always clean your rolling stock, folks. They might not be the things that pick up, but they do make your track work very dirty. And someone like me, who has a winter layout with snow on it, that's doubly the case, because the snow itself is already a hindrance for your locos. Ah, look. That's where the couplings are. I'm gonna need those. Ooh, this one has suffered greater damage to the brake. Is that a brake rod? I don't know. Look, can you see that? Oh well, it's second hand, and I paid 30 something for this, so I'm happy. Actually, I'm just happy that I found British stuff to begin with. Because like I say, most of the time on Dutch vendors fairs, it's either NS or it's German, and it's usually the latter. So, in the end, well, all the prices, they were listed on the boxes, but in the end, I paid 87 euros for this. And really, that's a steal. Like, yeah, it might not be new stuff, but, you know, I'm happy with this. And I think that if you generally go for the RRP prices, you know, granted, you know, for instance, this isn't made by, I don't know who made these anymore, but now, of course, it's the railroad Pullman coach tooling. So, you know, if you count RRP together, you know, it's probably far cheaper than it used to be. Well, you, of course, want to see a little running session. Plane. Well, then, you want to see a little running session of this, don't you? Well, let's jump straight into that. Right, so, as it turns out, the flanges of the new Mark 1 and Mark 2 are a bit too big for my type of track, but more harrowingly, and I want you to listen closely, I'm going to plug the track in now. Did you hear that? The wheels are, they're completely made of metal, so they're shorting the layout. Oh dear. Yeah, so it's as I thought. If I pop out one of the wheels, you can... For some reason they don't like to come out. Like, this entire structure, it's just metal. Like, you can see there's no spacer in the wheel of some sort. So, whenever, you know, the DCC current, it comes along the track, it just shorts the layout. So, I have to source, you know, a pack of these disc wheels, because I think these are then Marklin wheels. I don't know why they would change them out, but here we are. Alrighty then, pack of wheels is generally like 15, 20 quid, so that's in general 40 quid coaches. Looking less like a bargain now. The Master Cutler was a Pullman train by the time the English Electric's Type 4s took over the working. I can only imagine the cries for refunds of supplementary fares. It also seems to have been rerouted via Perthshire. That's one way to get to Sheffield, I suppose. The larger flanges on the Pullman carriage does make it so she has a more pronounced rumble on the track, but she doesn't derail on points or is otherwise caught by the flanges, so I'm really happy with this. The Bachmann wagons are coupled a lot closer than the other wagons in this train, but it doesn't seem to cause any problems. The coupling isn't NEM, so if I wanted to get my freight stock fitted with KDs, it would be a hacking job for these wagons. I've never actually owned an LNER brake fan, so I'm quite happy I found these. I have since given the model a dark grey wash, but it doesn't seem to have helped a lot. It still looks unnaturally clean. The Beans Express is a really free rolling set, and on my track work at least, They make a very pleasant clickety-clack sound as they pass over the rail joints. They can't traverse the killers, but as the rail train is practically on a through journey south in real life, I'm not too bothered by this. Ideally, I should find a second set so I can make a 4-car rake. But all things considered, for less than €90, I'm quite chuffed with this. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheerio!